This is the warbird mecca. Chino Airport is probably the largest warbird community in the United States. Our shop is probably the largest shop in the world, actually, that works on large aircraft, meaning anything other than a fighter.
Aero Trader inadvertently got into the big airplane business by starting on B-25s, and as a result, we've developed a reputation as being large aircraft maintenance people.
This particular A-26 was in the 9th Air Force in France during World War II and then was in the Korean conflict. Our direction has been to restore it so that it's as World War II authentic as possible.
How close are you over here?
I didn't take it down tight.
Well, as you can see, the engine mount is not cooperating, and instead of a standard tubular mount with a socket that just plugs together, we've got a monocoque design with barrel bolts, and the barrel bolts are not engaging in the nuts smoothly like they're supposed to.
I suspect.
So they're trying to jiggle the mount in position to allow the barrel bolt to engage and tighten the nut down. It's just taken a little bit longer than it normally does. Typically, this whole operation would only take about 25 or 30 minutes. And we're a little bit past that right now.
This is 1930s technology. And the machine work, which is exquisite, this is all done by hand. This is not done by computer-controlled machines. These were all made by people running lathes and mills and grinding equipment. And they're just masterpieces of engineering and machining expertise.
In this case, the A-26 is a little bit peculiar. There's a lot of smaller bolts holding it on, and it's really hard to get it oriented.
And there's a certain level of frustration that comes along with working with old equipment and parts and pieces that were built before you and I were born to a certain extent, and some of which don't exist today and we have to fabricate. And that makes for some of these restoration projects to be longer and more arduous than the average person wants to go through. But like any job, if you don't love it, you ought not to be doing it.
We have a lot going on here. We have about 20 employees, and it's busy all the time.
I am the Managing Director of the Isle of Wight Military History Museum. Because we had no money, the whole place was built on a very, very limited budget. Built the whole thing. Me, Bob, and David when he came from school.
Dave being my uncle and that, he's had tanks since I was a very small boy, it's about 6 or 7. And I've slowly grown up with it. And that, I come over on my holidays and it's left school when I was 16 and I've been here ever since. Driving them, it's an amazing experience. It's brilliant.
The problems you encounter is that all these tanks were handmade. Even though they were made in jigs, there was probably a lot of tolerances. So the part we're trying to fit doesn't necessarily want to fit in the thing we're trying to fit it into.
A hobby is something you do yourself, and then you enjoy it yourself afterwards. That's a hobby.
Yeah, this isn't a hobby, Dave, but we're getting paid to do this.
Yeah, it's partly a hobby though.
It's a way of life.
My name is Dave Marian, and I work for Jacques Littlefield at the Military Vehicle Technology Foundation. I restore tanks, armored vehicles, armored personnel carriers, trucks, half-tracks. We basically restore anything that was made post-World War I. We've been working on the Panther about 4.5 years, and there's probably another 3 or 4 months worth of work. and then we'll move on to the next project. The best thing about working here is being able to work towards a finished vehicle, being able to watch the vehicle start up and drive out of the building just like it would have 40 or 50 years ago. Because a lot of what we start with is in such poor shape that it's pretty rewarding when you're able to get everything functional exactly how it would have been originally. The hardest thing would be trying to figure out where to find or how to build all the missing or damaged pieces, because each vehicle is like a huge erector set or puzzle, and if you're missing a piece of the puzzle, you can't really put the vehicle together. So we either have to find it somewhere or build it from scratch. So that's kind of what's the most time-consuming, most difficult part. The retirement plan? When you get tired, leave.